Hello, welcome to Teacher Bob YouTube channel. In this video, you will see how I perform the intonation check for this guitar. In music, intonation is the pitch accuracy of a musical instrument. After I restrung this guitar with a new set of Roto Green's R8 extra light strings, I did not tune it right away. I had it first checked for bowed and humped neck. Then I set the action of the strings to follow the curvature of the fretboard. Then after that, I had the individual saddles to, as a unit, form a convex. And then tuning the strings to standard tuning using Samson CT20 clip-on digital tuner. So there are 5 videos or demonstrations that precede this video. The links to those videos are given in the description box of this video. This guitar is tuned to standard tuning, and for standard tuning, the strings are tuned this way. The top string, this is tuned to E, the 5th string to A, the 4th string to D, the 3rd string to G, the 2nd string to B, and the 1st string to E. This video is actually the sequel to another video which is titled Tuning an Electric Guitar to Standard Tuning using Samson CT20 Clip-on Tuner. And this is the link to that video. Vibrating strings are the basis of string instruments such as guitars, ukuleles, cellos, and pianos. The segment of a string that vibrates is that segment of a string between the knot and the saddle. So this length is the one that vibrates. This portion beyond the knot doesn't vibrate. So it's this length of the string that vibrates. So this is the vibrating length. When the length of a vibrating string changes, it will vibrate with a different frequency. And as the vibrating length gets shorter, the frequency gets higher. And the higher the frequency, the higher the pitch. So the shorter the vibrating length, the higher the pitch. Let's start with the first string, which is tuned to E. The pitch or the tuning of the first string is E. As you can see, it's displayed on the tuner. It's E. And at this pitch, the vibrating length of the first string is between the knot and its saddle. So this length from here to here is the vibrating length of the first string, and its pitch is E. If I press the first string at first fret, and this is the first fret, if I press this string at first fret, the vibrating length gets shorter. This time the vibrating length is from this fret wire up to its saddle. So it's this length from this up to this. This is the vibrating length if I press it at first fret. So the vibrating length is now shorter because it's from here up to here, whereas earlier for pitch E, the vibrating length is from the knot up to its saddle. But if you press it at first fret, then the vibrating length is now measured from this wire up to its saddle. And so the vibrating length gets shorter. And as I have mentioned earlier, the shorter the vibrating length, the higher the pitch. So now let's check the pitch of the first string when pressed at first fret. And as you can see, it's not E anymore. It's F. And F is higher than E. Now if I press the string, the first string at 3rd fret, the vibrating length gets shorter even more. Now the vibrating length is from this fret wire up to its saddle, so from here to here. And of course, when the vibrating length gets shorter, we should expect to see a higher pitch. Now let's check the pitch of the first string when pressed or played at 3rd fret. Now you see G, and G is higher than F. Now let's check the pitch of the first string when pressed at 5th fret, and the vibrating length is from this fret wire up to its saddle. Since the vibrating length gets shorter even more, therefore the pitch should be higher than the previous. Now let's check the pitch of the first string when pressed at 5th fret. Now you see A. In the same manner, if we press it at 7th fret, we should expect to see a tone that is higher than A, which is B. And you see a B. And then when I press it at 8th fret, it should be a higher tone, which is C. And you see C. And then if I move to 10th fret, this should be a D. And you see a D there. And then at 12th fret, the pitch should be higher than D. A whole step higher than D is E. Let's check if this should be E. So you see an E there. So you'd notice that from the initial vibrating length of the string, which is when it is played open, the pitch is E. But as you keep pressing the string closer to the body, and when you get to 12th fret, you see another E. So this E and this one, the tone is the same. We have the same letter name, which is E, and their tone is the same, but the difference between the two is the pitch. We have the lower E and we have the higher E here. And the difference in pitch between this E and this E is 1 octave. The note on the 12th fret should always be exactly 1 octave higher than the open string. So in this demonstration, you have learned that as the vibrating length of a string gets shorter, the pitch of that vibrating length gets higher. So, and the pitch is E. But as you press it at 1st fret, the length gets shorter. So at 1st fret it would be F. At 3rd fret, G. I want you to keep your eye on the display of this tuner. And then at 5th fret, that would be A. At 7th fret, that would be B. At 8th fret, that would be C. At 10th fret, that would be D. And at 12th fret, that would be E. So from an open up to 12th fret, you have the same tone, but the difference in pitch between the pitch of an open string compared to the pitch of the same string played at 12th fret is 1 octave. Now to have an understanding why at 1st fret is F and why at 3rd fret is G, and why it's A at 5th fret and why it's B at 7th, and why it's a C at 8th, and why it's a D at 10th, and why it's another E at 12th fret, I will suggest that you watch a lesson that I have uploaded in the past, the title of which is sound letters or musical alphabets. And the link to that video is given right here. So to learn more about sound letters or tones and their intervals, please watch that video. Okay, now that we have found out that the tone at 12th fret is E, but let's check the accuracy of the tone of the string right at 12th fret. At first is when it's open, the pitch is E, and it's the perfect one because, or the correct one, not lower or not higher, because the tuner tells us so that it is exactly the right pitch, E, because the triangle above the letter name tells us that that's the correct pitch, the right frequency for E, not lower, not a bit lower or not a bit higher. The moment you see the green, the triangle lit green, now that's the perfect frequency for this vibrating length, and it's the perfect E. Now let's check if we get the same result when we press the string at 12th fret. Let's see if we would see a triangle lit green. And I can see it is, right? The triangle is lit green. So the intonation of this guitar for the first string is good, as it's the perfect E right here, and it's also the perfect E when played open. So that's how we check the intonation of a musical instrument, if you get the same result at 12th fret. And we're going to do the same for the second letter. The second letter is tuned to B, and the triangle is lit green, so right now the pitch is perfect. It's a B. The frequency is perfect. Now let's press the string for higher tones or frequency. Let's play it at first fret. This should register a C, and we see a C there. At third fret, this would be a D. At fifth fret, this would be an E. At sixth fret, F. At eighth fret, G. 10th fret, A. And at 12th fret, B. So from B on open string to 12th fret, which is another B, is one octave higher. But I can see a difference between the open B and the B at 12th fret. Although we see the same letter, but looking at the display on the digital tuner, it tells me that this tone right here, which is supposed to be a B, is a bit higher than the perfect B, a bit higher than the correct frequency for B, because the yellow side is lit. You can see the yellow mark there. When I play the string at 12th fret, the triangle is not lit green, but the other side, the yellow part, we start to see this frequency is a bit higher than the perfect frequency for B. Now this tells us that this vibrating length from this fret wire up to the saddle is not really accurate, since it appears that the frequency is a bit higher than the correct frequency for B. It tells us that this vibrating length is short for the right frequency. We have to make this vibrating length a bit longer so that we get the right frequency for B. And for electric guitars, you have the ability or you have the means to do that, because this saddle, you can actually move this saddle to this side or to this side, because as you can see, this saddle has a spring right here. Each saddle has springs, and this saddle is actually connected to this part of the bridge by screws. And these screws will help you move the saddle this direction or that direction. And if you move the saddle to this direction, you are making the vibrating length shorter. But if you move it away, meaning the saddle, you bring it closer to this part, then you are increasing the vibrating length. And that's what we have to do for the second string. We have to move the saddle a bit further or a bit closer to this side, so that the vibrating length that is from here to this fret wire at 12th fret to the saddle will be a bit longer, and that will give us the right frequency. So let's check that. For this, for us to be able to do that, we need a special tool so we can adjust the screw. Okay, so before I adjust the position of the saddle, let's check one more time the open string pitch of the second string. It's a B, and we see that the triangle is lit green, and we don't see any part of the yellow side lit. So that means the frequency is the correct frequency right now for the second string. But the moment I press the second string at 12th fret, now this tells us that the frequency is a bit higher than the correct one, because now the yellow side is lit, and you don't see the triangle on top of the letter lit green, but it's the yellow side that is being lit, so the frequency is a bit higher there, right? Now what it tells us is that right now the vibrating length of the string from this fret wire up to the position of the saddle right now is short, because it's giving us a frequency that's higher than the correct frequency for B. Now to make it lower, to make the frequency lower, then we have to make the vibrating length of this string a bit longer. And for electric guitars with individual saddles, each of the saddle can be moved to this side or to that side, because they are screwed right here. And the tool that we can use for this job is this one. It's a Phillips screw. It's a smaller Phillips screw. So here, and I will do one short turn at a time. Right now I have no idea which direction would move the saddle this way or make the vibrating length longer, and which direction would make the saddle move this way and make the vibrating length shorter. So our basis here would be the frequency that we read from the tuner. So I'll keep my finger at 12th fret, press the string at 12th fret. Let's find out. So if I make a small turn, I just did. Now let's check the frequency. I think I've turned the wrong direction, but Let me do it one more time. I'll turn it to counterclockwise direction, another clockwise direction turn, and then play the string. It didn't change. I guess I have to turn it to the other direction. So I'll have to turn it counterclockwise. Make a small turn. Let's see if the frequency. Okay. But I brought it too low. As you can see, the side that is marked is the red ones, right? The red colors, that's the one that is being marked right now. And this tells us that right now the frequency at 12th fret is too low for a B. So I have turned it to counterclockwise direction too much. So that means I have to turn it to clockwise direction, but just a short counterclockwise turn. So I'll turn it now a small clockwise direction. And let's check the string. Okay, it's still low, but not very low compared to the previous one. A very small clockwise turn that I have to do. It's still not enough, so I will have to do a small clockwise turn. Almost. Another time. It didn't change. I didn't turn much. I have to do another clockwise turn, small turn. There. Now you see that the shape, the triangle, is lit green. Now this tells me that right now the vibrating length from here to here is the right one, as it produced the right frequency for B. Now this tells us that I have already moved the saddle to this side to make the vibrating length a bit longer than the initial one, and so right now we have the right pitch at 12th fret. The triangle is lit green or filled with green color, and if you play the string open, we still see a marked triangle. The triangle filled green. So that means the pitch of the open string is the right frequency for B, and the pitch at 12th fret is also the right frequency. Now this tells us that at this time the accuracy of the intonation of the second string is good. Now let's move to the third string. The third string is tuned to G, and you can see that the triangle is filled with green color, so that's the right pitch, or it has the right frequency at this time. And for G, let's check the tone at 12th fret if we get the same result. Now you can see yellow colors, and that tells us that right now the frequency of the third string at 12th fret is actually a bit higher than the correct frequency for G. The case is just like similar to B earlier, so we have to do the same. That means I have to turn the screw for the third saddle, which is this one, to counterclockwise, and it must be a short turn. Let's check one more time. So it's higher. Then we have to make the vibrating length of this string a bit longer. Right now the vibrating length is from this fret wire up to this saddle, but this saddle is a bit closer, so we have to move this saddle to this direction so that the vibrating length of the string becomes a bit longer, and that can be done by turning the screw for that saddle to counterclockwise direction, and it must be a short turn. I'll do a small turn now. Let's see the result. I have brought it too low because, as you can see, the triangle shape on top of the letter is not lit green. Instead, we see more of the red color. It tells us that right now the frequency is low or lower than the correct frequency or correct pitch for G. So I will do a clockwise turn this time because I have turned it too much already. So a small turn clockwise. Let's see the result. Okay, now I did it. I've done it right because, as you can see, the triangle shape is now filled with green color. And we get the right pitch or the right frequency for the third string at 12th fret. So now the intonation of the third string is good. The accuracy is good. Now we do the same for the fourth string. Right now the fourth string is tuned to D, and it's the perfect pitch for open string at this time because the triangle is filled with green. And then let's check the pitch, its accuracy at 12th fret. And right now the pitch is a bit higher than the correct frequency. So we have to turn the screw to counterclockwise. Okay, then let's check. Good, now we get it right. Now let's check the fifth string. Right now it's telling us that the pitch of the open string is the right one. The frequency is correct as the triangle is filled with green. Let's check the pitch at 12th fret. And just like the other strings, the pitch at 12th fret of the same string is a bit higher, so we'll have to turn the screw of its saddle counterclockwise, a small turn only. Okay, now let's check the pitch. Oh, I brought it too much because it went so low. The digital tuner tells us that right now the frequency at 12th fret is lower than the right frequency, so I have to turn it clockwise. Some more. A little more. There. The triangle is filled with green. Okay, so now we have the right frequency at 12th fret. And let's do the same for the sixth string. The sixth string is tuned to E. As you can see, it's the right pitch at this time. The frequency is correct. Now let's check its pitch or frequency at 12th fret. And it's a bit higher. So that means I have to make a small counterclockwise turn on its screw. There. Almost. Oops. There. Now let's check it again, the first string. It went a bit lower. Okay, and then the second string, it didn't change. The third, it didn't change. We have the right pitch. The frequency is correct. For the fourth string, we have the right pitch. The fifth, we have the right pitch. And the sixth. you have the right pitch. Okay, so I've just checked the intonation or the accuracy of the instrument by checking the frequency at 12th fret of each string. Okay, I have made adjustments to the uh, position of the saddles of these strings, the horizontal position of the saddles. Most of the saddles I had to move them to this direction to make the vibrating lengths a bit longer to get the right frequency. Okay, so I've just checked the intonation of this guitar by making adjustments to the horizontal positions of each of the saddles. So that's how to check the intonation of a musical instrument, the pitch accuracy of the musical instrument. The tone at 12th fret should always be exactly the same as the tone of the open strings. And if the tone at 12th fret is different from the tone of open string, then you'll have to make adjustment to the horizontal position of the saddle. If the tone at 12th fret is higher than expected, so if the tone at 12th fret is higher or a bit higher than the right pitch, then you'll have to move the saddle to this side so that you make the vibrating length a bit longer, as making the vibrating length a bit longer would lower the frequency. But if the frequency at 12th fret is lower than the right frequency, then that means the vibrating length is too long to be able to give you the right frequency. So that means you'll have to move the saddle to this direction so that the vibrating length will get shorter, as that will raise the pitch. I hope you have learned something from this demonstration. If you are new to this channel, please do subscribe so that you will never miss any of the future videos or lessons that I will be uploading. And also please hit the like button if you like this video. This channel has lessons on how to play ukulele and the guitar. At the end of this video are two end screens. One is end screen for the playlist on ukuleles, and the other end screen is a playlist for guitar lessons and demonstrations. Thank you so much for watching.